Time now for business news with our business editor, Stephen Carroll. Good morning.
Hello, Catherine.
We're going to start off with Greece and the Troika heading back there, except we're not calling them the Troika, are we?
No, and we certainly can't anymore. What we're now calling them the institutions. They're going to be sending their officials back to Athens this week. In fact, from tomorrow, in an effort to assess the state of the Greek economy. That's despite a demand from Greece's government for all technical meetings to be held in Brussels. Now, Greece's government was accused of wasting time at Monday's meeting of Eurozone finance ministers. Eurogroup chief Jeroen Dijsselbloem said that 2 weeks had been wasted with no progress made on reforms. He's refused to consider an early payment of the rest of Greece's bailout loans until the government shows they've begun implementing their reform plan. That's despite fears that Greece could run out of money as soon as this week. Let's listen first to what Jeroen Dijsselbloem had to say about that.
I don't know if and when they run out of cash, because I don't control the till in Athens. That is their responsibility. All that I know is that we can only release further loans from the European funds if there is a full agreement on the total package and if they start implementing reforms. And so far, 2 weeks have gone by and neither of the two have happened.
We had to spend at least a week to begin running our ministries, appoint general secretaries, and come up with a list of reforms which we want to put forward to the institutions. So in that sense, not only did we waste absolutely no time, but I think that we were actually very speedy in the way that we responded to the circumstances that we inherited.
That's the Greek finance minister there, Yanis Varoufakis. Well, let's take a look next at what's happening on the markets. And we have seen some movement on the currency markets in the past couple of hours. The euro hitting a 12-year low against the dollar in trading. It's come back slightly since. It was down at around $1.07 earlier on, but still down in the day. As you can see, €1 trading for $1.08 there. That after the ECB and the European Central Bank started their €1 trillion bond buying stimulus programme on Monday. The volatility in the currency markets, as you can see, not helping things on the stock markets either. Chinese shares also digesting news that consumer prices rose by a better than expected 1.4% in February. That news pretty much overshadowed, though, by the movements on the currency markets. The mood, as you can see, generally negative across the Asian markets there.
All right, next we're going to move on to Apple, who are very clever. They're getting us all to talk about them by launching a new product. But this isn't just any new product, is it? It's their first foray into smartwatches. And people are saying it could revolutionise this sector.
Exactly, and it could make the world's most valuable company even more valuable as part of this as well. It's the first new product line from Apple since the iPad in 2011. The Apple Watch going to be made available from next month in shops. Now, Apple's trying to convince the public that it's the next must-have accessory with a fresh marketing plan that includes a $2 million 12-page spread in Vogue magazine. Some people, though, are already raising concerns about the product, including issues over the average battery life of just 18 hours. Shirley Sipman tells us more.
When Steve Jobs presented the iPod, iPhone and iPad, they came in one color. People bought them so they could listen to music, call, read and communicate, not to show them off. The Apple Watch is different. It comes in dozens of colors. Its prices start at $350 for the basic model to more than $10,000 for the flashiest versions, one of Apple's most expensive products.
Since what you wear is an expression of who you are, we designed Apple Watch to appeal to a whole variety of people and used incredibly beautiful materials, like this stainless steel and sapphire crystal, and a jaw-dropping, beautiful 18-karat gold.
The brand's devices are no longer just advanced technologically, they're high-end fashion. Smartwatches are not new, and Apple's doesn't offer any major novelties. Still, the company wants its product to be unlike any other.
What Apple is going to want to do is really own the entire category, much in the way that they did with smartphones and with MP3 players before it. Apple's MO is to look at a growing category, something that others have already done some work in, and then come in and create the product that everybody wants to buy in that category and really create a status symbol.
If its smartwatches sales take off, analysts believe Apple could turn into a $1 trillion company.
You just have to remember to keep charging them up every 18 hours, though. Don't forget. Now, we're going to stay with all things technology. More advanced smartphones have struck a blow against their predecessor, the humble digital camera. I remember those.
Yes, exactly. Don't we all? But now, of course, they're part of our smartphones. So for the standalone digital camera, 2014 was the worst year in a decade for the industry. According to the trade group, the Camera and Imaging Products Association of Japan, sales were down 35% last year. They expect them to fall by another quarter this year. According to figures compiled by the tech expert Malik, digital camera sales peaked in 2010 at 122 million units sold. That dipped to 43 million in 2014. Of course, that's because things have been taken over by the likes of the iPhone. You look at their sales, but over the same period, they rose from 47 million to 193 million last year.
Goodness, that is a lot of money, isn't it? Thanks very much. Stephen Carroll, our business editor, back in an hour's time with more for us.